The ANC will ask Parliament to conduct an investigation after a parliamentary staff member allegedly slammed the ANC's handling of the Protection of State Information Bill in the media. The official allegedly condemned the ANC's proposal to establish a public consultation process on the secrecy bill. ANC caucus spokesperson Moloto Mothapo.
We are disappointed and extremely concerned that a parliamentary staff member can actually go into the media and launch a political attack on the political party that is represented in parliament. Members of parliament staff are required at all times to be impartial politically. They are not supposed to engage themselves in political activities and actually criticize us for having taken the decision that we've taken on the information bill. It is unacceptable. It is something that needs to be investigated by Parliament.
International Relations Minister Maitengwana Mashabane says the processing of spiritual leader the Dalai Lama's visa application will not be discussed through the media. Various civil society organizations are planning a series of protests against government's apparent stalling of the visa application. The minister had this to say.
Visa applications are done through filling of forms, presentation of passports and all that, and we normally don't discuss this through the media. I wouldn't call it lack of clarity. I will call it normal process of an application for a visa in entry into any given country.
The situation in Tembisa on the East Rand remains tense. Police have arrested over 100 residents following violent protests. Police and residents have been engaged in running battles that saw residents stoning and throwing petrol bombs at police vehicles. Prefab houses for construction workers at a police station being built were also vandalized. Residents have been protesting in recent weeks over high electricity tariffs. Police spokesperson Wilfred Kasaho.
They also put rocks in the burning tires on the rail line between Kalfontein and Tembisa. Although we did pay that and inform Metro Rail about it, but the situation still remains tense, and we shall be monitoring the whole area of Ekurhuleni throughout the day and right into the night until everything is back to normal.
3 beaches on the False Bay coast have been reopened following a shark attack at Clovelly earlier this week. A bather is recovering in hospital after a great white shark severed his legs. The city of Cape Town says Muizenberg, St. James and Kalk Bay beaches are open, while Glencairn, Fishhook and Clovelly remain closed until further notice. The city says the situation is being assessed regularly. The funeral service for Mrs. Regina Nzo will take place tomorrow in Johannesburg. The service will start at 9 o'clock at the Rhema Bible Church in Randburg. Mrs. Nzo, who passed away last Saturday aged 81, was the widow of former Secretary General of the ANC and former Minister of Foreign Affairs Alfred Nzo, who died in 2000. Germany is handing back a number of skulls of Namibians who died after a Herero uprising against colonial rulers more than 100 years ago. The Namibians were among hundreds rounded up into camps. The skulls are being handed over to a Namibian delegation at a ceremony in Berlin. The BBC's Stephen Evans reports.
47 skulls were found in 2 German hospitals recently, and it turned out that they were the victims of the German colonial masters in Southwest Africa a century ago. After a rebellion in which 123 German civilians were massacred, local people were rounded up in camps where many starved. An extermination order was made by one General Lothar von Trotha. Some of the victims were beheaded and their skulls sent to Germany. People from Namibia have now come to Berlin to retrieve some of them.
And finally, a man accused of fleeing New Zealand after a bank mistakenly deposited millions of dollars into his account has been arrested in Hong Kong. Police say the Chinese national was detained by Interpol. 2 years ago, he asked his bank for an overdraft of $76,000. The bank accidentally put $7.6 million into his account. That's about 60 million rand. The bank discovered its error within days, but the money had allegedly vanished into other accounts.